Hello Stjepko and hello to
Loredana.
everybody. This workshop is open for all the instruments and the singers are welcome too. So Stjepko, what would you concentrate on mostly on this workshop?
Okay, before I answer this question, let me just tell you, we are sitting here in Sicilia, Sicily, which is one of the most beautiful places on this planet that we are living on. So you're just welcome, and you can stay after the workshop, for the holidays. You'll have some of the greatest holidays you ever had. Okay, what we will concentrate on this needs again an introduction. I've known Clark Terry for 30 years, and I traveled around the world with Clark Terry. I was his student, his protege, and then I started playing with him together, and then I started teaching together with him at a lot of colleges and a lot of universities around the world. So basically what I'm working on and what Clark highly recommends me is his way of teaching, which is teaching interpretation of a jazz language. Teaching people on all instruments syllables that they have to know. For example, how are you going to play anthropology? You say ta 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 ta, or two and two, and this is all a lot of BS, that people bring. Clark says it started with tap dancers, which had those double moves, and then the drummers picked it up with all those things, and then all the rest of us picked it from them, So basically, trumpet players, saxophone players, trombone players, we are using a doodle tonguing system, which is a double tonguing. It's called in classical music double tonguing, tuku tu tuku, and we say doodle or daddle diddle daddle doodle. So it doesn't matter. On guitar, they do it with the fingers, doubling the fingers. On the bass, the same way. The drummers, they have all those rudiments that they practice anyway. They don't play ta 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 ta. They play diddle 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 boom, Things like this. So we would be concentrated on interpretation of a jazz language that is based on double tonguing or double, whatever instrument is. I'm talking about the horns, So all this is very important because the groups of 8 notes, let's put them in 2 bars, instead of sounding da 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 single tonguing, they start sounding like da do da do do la ba do de ba da she de ba de ba li au ba de do ba o bid up or au ba do de do de bob au ba do de e do e. You're starting getting those. Clark calls them highs and lows, not necessarily the pitch wise, but dynamically. Sometimes you go e ba do do he and use a body half, and the lower note becomes a high dynamically, But this is all part of jazz language. So like Clark Terry used to say always on every workshop, if you want to speak a jazz language, you got to know the language, and that's all part of the language. Body halves, doodle tonguing, and all kind of using those syllables differently. And also, whoever learned in the classical schools is all good. You can use all those techniques, but in jazz we use a lot of other techniques on every instrument. Like when you speak about doodle tonguing, very often I hear the saxophone player say, "Oh yeah, that's for you trumpet players like Clark Terry, Dizzy Gillespie, Lee Morgan, Miles." Everybody used the doodle tonguing, but Clark Terry perfected it. He perfected it, and he brought it to the level of he was able. And he is still able to teach somebody in 15 minutes to change his whole life, because I watched him working with the drummers, working with the piano players. Like one time I told Clark Terry, Clark, it's very difficult on the piano doing this, what we call double finger, in this case double tonguing, He says, "Oh no, I worked a lot with OP, with Oscar Peterson, and he was able to do it." So, stay on one note and use all kind of instruments. Every instrument can use it. So basically we would be very concentrating on the rhythm of the jazz. Rhythm of the jazz is, and we bring it with a double tonguing system, and we bring it with what you call them highs and lows, and then we would concentrate on improvisation, all levels, whatever, just learning. I remember one time Clark Terry had a student, total beginner. He said, Clark, I would love to be a jazz musician, to improvise. How can I improvise? And Clark says, this is G7 and this is C. So you have to resolve it. And you say, ba, ba, doodly did. It was all going from G to C. Oh, baba doodly did. And it already sounds like a little jazz phrase, you know. It was just a chromatic from G up to C, you know. So there is a lot of things that are changing people's life, because I've been through all these kind of things. One time I was teaching in Amsterdam, and Amsterdam Academy is now combined from Hilversum and Amsterdam. There are a lot of students, very good school, excellent school, one of the best in the world probably. So I had about 35 trumpet players for 2 hours. After 2 hours, maybe 15 or 20 of them were able to play, instead of you know, 2 and 2, using those legatos and all that. They were able to use doodle tonguing system, because like another way of expressing it is, say, Clark says always, it's nice to go to the bank and put 1 and pick up 2, you know. So in other words, for 1 you get 2. One movement of a tongue is say daddle, daddle, daddle. So I get 2 notes with 1 movement of a tongue. So you get much faster too, you know. But I mean, that's not really why you learn it. You learn it because that's the part of the language. Where you say, ho, body hop, fast air, you know. Instead of saying, you know, you just use your tongue 2 times less, you know. And you are getting all those ghost, so-called ghost notes that are part of the language, you know, too. So, you know, those are the things. Rhythm, rhythm, rhythm. That's one thing, you know. And another thing is improvisation. Improvisation. That we use all the systems from Clark, and combining from Clark Terry and Barry Harris, you know, who is another great teacher, and has a complete system on harmonic approaches and the scales and everything, you know. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.